Hello children, welcome to DP Education Advanced Level General English Past Paper Discussions. උසස් පෙළ දරුවන්ට Advanced Level General English විෂය කියන විෂය. ඒකේ පසුගිය විභාග ප්‍රශ්න පත්‍ර සාකච්ඡාව. So far we have discussed several past papers. මේ දක්වා අපි past papers ගණනාවක් සාකච්ඡා කරලා තියෙනවා. Just before this video, I discussed 2014 paper. 2014 paper එක මම ඊට කලින් discuss කරේ. I discussed the first paper, part A and part B. පළවෙනි ප්‍රශ්න පත්‍රයේ A කොටස සහ B කොටස. There you noticed there were some grammar questions in part A, and in part B also there were some questions like reading comprehension. Now today I am going to discuss the next or the rest of the paper. A paper ki ituru kotas, that is part C, that is summarizing. You know this is actually in all syllabus. So in the new syllabus you won't get this question. But even though this is good for your life, maybe in future examinations you will have to answer a question of this type, or else even to improve your knowledge of reading and writing, this exercise is very important. So then try it out. Okay, let's see. It is summarizing. 10 marks for this. Write a summary of the following text. You may use any number of sentences, but do not use more than 30 words. You know, normally a summary means 1/3 of the original text. සාමාන්‍ය සමරියක් කියන්නේ සාරාංශයක් කියන්නේ original text එකෙන් 3න් එකක්. If the original text has 75 words, අපි හිතමු 70 වචන 75ක එකක් කියලා ඡේදය. ඒකෙන් 3න් එකක්. ඒ කියන්නේ summary එක වචන 25ක් විතර වෙන්න ඕනේ. Right. So then here, write a summary of the following text. You may use any number of sentences. You can use any number of sentences. වාක්‍ය ඕනම ගණනක් පුළුවන් ලියන්න, but do not use more than 30 words. වචන 30කට වඩා වැඩි වෙන්න බෑ. So when you write a summary, they give you a space. paper එකේ space එකක් තියෙනවා. කොටු දීලා තියෙනවා. ඒක කොටුවක එක වචනයක් ලියන්න තියෙන්නේ. So then if you exceed the word limit, එහෙනම් මේ 30 word කියන එක exceed කරොත් ඊට වඩා ලිව්වොත් you will not get any marks for this summary. You will get a 0. ඔයාට එක ලකුණක්වත් ලැබෙන්නේ නැහැ වචන 30ට වඩා ලිව්වොත්. So you see, dangerous. Right. Write only one word in each cage. එක කොටුවක එහෙනම් එක වචනයක් ලියන්නේ. කොටුවක් දීලා. So then when you read this now, so you have to read it and get the summary. මොකක්ද වෙන summary කියන්නේ? So while reading, pay your attention for the things that you can see explanations, as well as the sentences giving you the main idea. ප්‍රධාන අදහස දෙන වාක්‍ය, ඒ වගේම ඒවා විස්තර කරපු වාක්‍ය මොනවද? So if you exclude those explanations, ඒ විස්තර කරන වාක්‍ය, ඒව ටික අයින් කරොත් you get the summary. So then while reading, underline those parts, the sentences or the parts of the sentences that you get the main idea. Main idea එක ලැබෙන කොටස් මොනවද? While reading you can highlight or underline. Now look at this one. Last week Suman went out to lunch with his friend Gamini. Right? You can understand very හරි සරල ඡේද තියෙන්නේ, විස්තරාත්මක තියෙන්නේ. විස්තර ටික අයින් කරන්න තියෙන්නේ. Then you get the summary. මෙයා ගියා lunch එකකට එයාගේ friend එක්ක, friend Gamini. And Gamini was very fat. He was very fat and liked good food. He liked good food and a lot of it, not only good food and a lot of it. ඒකේ ගොඩාක් කනවා, right? They sat at the table in a hotel. They went to a hotel and sat at the table. The waiter brought a tray full of things. Then when they were sitting at the table, the waiter brought a tray full of things. Tray එකක් පුරෝලා දේවල් ගෙනාවලු for them to have, for them to eat. After a big meal, they had ice cream sandy and drank some coffee. After a big meal, කෑමක් කාලා, ice cream කාලා, coffee කුත් බිව්වලු. And we really must go now, Gamini. Suman said. Suman කිව්වා ඒතකොට we really must go now. අපි දැන් යන්න ඕනි කියලා. We have been here for nearly 3 hours. අපි දැන් මෙතන පැය 3ක් විතර වෙනවනේ ඉඳලා. It's 10 to 4. It's 10 to 4. බලන්න. Then 10 to 4. Right, he told the time. What do you mean? Asked Gamini in surprise. What do you mean? මොකනවද මේවා කියන්නේ? මොකක්ද ඒ කියන්නේ? Gamini asked in surprise. We can't leave now. It's time for tea. දැන් අපිට යන්න බෑ. It's time for tea. දැන් තේ බොන වෙලාවනේ. So that means they have spent such a long time. They sat for the lunch until tea time. They went on eating. තේ බොන වෙලාව වෙනකම් මේගොල්ලෝ කකා ඉඳලා. So good meal. So now that is the paragraph or the text that you have to summarize. දැන් මෙන්න මේක තමයි summarize කරන්න කියන්නේ. දැන් මේක then I'll give you one model answer how to write, and then let's compare the text and the answer. Right, so this is the answer I just wrote, right? දැන් බලමු ඒ අදහස මේ summarize කරලා තියෙන විදිය. Suman went to lunch with Gamini, who liked a lot of good food. මෙයා ගාමිනිත් එක්ක සුමන් ගියා ගාමිනිත් එක්ක ලන්ච් එකකට. එයා ගොඩක් කැමති කෑම කන්න. After eating for a long time, දිගු වෙලාවක ඒගොල්ලෝ කෑම කාලා, when Suman suggested to leave, යන් කියලා කියනකොට Gamini said it was tea time. You see, exactly. Now here one word in one each cage. එක කොටුවක එක වචනය. එතකොට 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 6 6 this way. 6 into 5 30 words. හරියට වචන 30යි. Then word limit එක හරියට ලියවෙලා. Now you see what have they left, making up. එතකොට අතහැරලා තියෙන්නේ මොනවද? Just have a look at this. Now you can understand what are the words that we get the main idea. You have to use anyway these two names. ඒගොල්ලෝ went out to lunch. ඒකත් වැදගත්. So these are the words that you have to, that's a friend. Then Gamini, and also you have to tell that he liked good food. එයා ගොඩක් කෑම කන්න කැමති කියවෙන්න ඕනේ මේ දෙන්නා ගැනම සහ ඒගොල්ලෝ ගියේ කොහෙද. That is giving. Then they sat at the table at the hotel. ඒවා ඉඳගත්තා. They are descriptions. ඒවා අයින් කරනවා. The waiter brought a tray full of things. They are explanations. එතනදි වෙච්ච තව සිදුවීම්. ඒවා අයින් කරන්න පුළුවන්. After a meal, big meal, they had a big meal. They had ice cream. Right. So that means they spent a long time making කියන්න පුළුවන්. After a big meal, that means spent a long time in the hotel. We really must go now, Gamini. Then මෙයා කිව්වා අපි දැන් යන්න ඕනේ නේද? කිව්වා මෙයා කිව්වා no. Now it is tea time. දැන් මෙන්න මේ අදහස් ටික. From this, and he said it's time for tea. මෙන්න මේ අදහස් ටික තමයි මෙතන සමරයිස් කරලා තියෙන්නේ. Right, there you can see lot of explanation. මෙයා මෙහෙම කිව්වා, එයා මෙහෙම කිව්වා, මෙහෙම ඉඳගත්තා, වේට මෙහෙම ගෙනාවා. They all are explanations. ඒවා details, විස්තර අයින් කරා වෙච්ච සිදුවීම සරලව කිව්වා. That is what you call the summary. So then for this you get marks like this. For content you get 2 marks and language you get 2 marks. So for content means you should not leave any of these main ideas. මේ ප්‍රධාන අදහස් කිසිම දෙයක් මගහැරලා තියෙන්න බැහැ වුණොත් no marks, right? So for that, if you have written these things, you get 2 marks. Language means the grammar and the spelling, punctuation that you have used in writing. මේක ලියනවා පාවිච්චි කරලා තියෙන grammar නිවැරදි වෙන්න ඕනේ, sentences හරි වෙන්න ඕනේ, spelling mistakes නැති වෙන්න ඕනේ, punctuations, and if those are okay, you get 2 marks. That means altogether 4 marks. So that's the first question for this summary. And let's look at the next one. Write a summary of the following text. You may use any number of sentences, but do not use more than 50. So this is a little bigger than the previous one. Then කලින් එකට වඩා පොඩ්ඩක් ලොකු ඡේදයක් තියෙන text එක. And here also same instructions. You may use any number of sentences. වාක්‍ය ඕන තරම් ලියන්න පුළුවන්, but don't use more than 50. වචන 50ට වැඩි වෙන්න බෑ. If you exceed the word limit, මේ limit එක පැන්නොතින්, you will not get any marks for the summary. Summary එක හරියන්න පුළුවන් වචන ගාන වැඩි වුණොත් you don't get any mark, 0 marks. So very important, you have to read and understand the instructions. For this හරියට පිළිපදින්න. Write only one word in each cage. එක කොටුවක මේකේ තේනම් එක කොටුවක එක වචනයයි. So then I'll give you an example also so that you will get an idea how to write a summary. Now just have a look at this one paragraph. We'll try to understand. Henry Ford was the first person to build cars which were cheap. Henry Ford, that's the name of a person. He was the first person build cars which were cheap. Cheap, ලාභ car හදපු first person in the world. Strong, not only cheap, they are strong and fast. Cheap, strong and fast. Ford cars. He was able to sell millions of models because he mass produced them. He produced them in large quantities. විශාල ප්‍රමාණයෙන් හැදුව නිසා he was able to sell millions. මිලියන ගාණක් මේවා විකුණන්න පුළුවන් වුණා. That is, he made great many cars of exactly the same type. Great many cars. Exactly the same type. එකම type picking lot of vehicles, lot of cars he produced. And Ford's father තාත්තා hoped that his son would become a farmer like him. That means Ford's father was a farmer. farmer කෙනෙක්. ඉතින් යාට උනේ පුතත් farmer කෙනෙක් වෙනවා දකින්න. What would become a farmer like him, but the young man did not like the idea. But this young man, that means son, did not like that, did not want to be a farmer. එයාට ඒ පුතාට farmer කෙනෙක් වෙන්න ඕනේ නෑ. And he went to Detroit where he worked as a mechanic. මෙන්න මේ this is a place. මේක එක area එක district එක නගරයක නමක්. And so that's why they have started with a capital letter. So then when you read a text, then මේ වගේ එකක් කියවන වාක්‍යයක මැද capital ලකුරක් තිබුණොත් that is a proper noun. It can be a name of a person, place or country, village, like that. So this is the place where he worked. එයා වැඩ කරපු mechanic කෙනෙක් විදිහට වැඩ කරපු තැන. එයාට ගිහිල්ලා then he worked as a mechanic. By the age of 29, when Henry Ford becomes 29 in 1892. මෙන්න මේ අවුරුද්දේදී යාට අවුරුදු 29ක් වෙනකොට he had built his first car. He had built his first car. එයාගේ පළවෙනි කාර් එක නිපදවලා. However, කෙසේ වෙතත් the first mass produced car in the world, mass produced car විශාල වශයෙන්ම නිෂ්පාදනය කරපු ලෝකේ the famous Model T. Model T කියන මොඩල් එක තමයිලු, and did not appear until 1908, 5 years after Ford had started his great motor company. He had started his great motor company. Now you see, Model T කියන එක did not appear. Did not appear means did not come out. පිනී සිටියේ නෑ, එළියට දැම්මේ නෑ. Until 1908, 1892 වලදී first car එක හැදුවට 1908 1908 වෙනකන් 5 years after Ford had started his great motor company. You see, this car proved to be so popular, famous. මේ කාර් එක proved to be so popular, ගොඩාක් famous වුණාලු මේක, that it remained unchanged for 20 years. It remained unchanged for 20 years. වසර 20ක් වෙනස් නොවි ඒ ප්‍රසිද්ධිය ඒ කාර් එකේ මොඩල් එක තිබුණා. Since Ford's time, Ford ගේ කාලේ ඉඳලා mass production method, මේ වගේ බහුල වශයෙන් නිෂ්පාදනය කිරීමේ ක්‍රමය have become common in industry and have reduced the price of many articles which would otherwise be very expensive. So now from here, මෙතනින් තමයි එතකොට බහුල වශයෙන් ගොඩාක් එක සැරේ නිෂ්පාදනය කිරීමේ ක්‍රියාවලිය. So ඒකේ මොකද වෙලා තියෙන්නේ? have become common in industry. ඒක සාමාන්‍ය හැම industry එකම පාවිච්චි කරන්න පටන් ගත්තා, and have reduced the price. ඒකෙන් මිල යන වියදම අඩුයි. ඒකට price එකත් අඩු කරන්න පුළුවන්, price of many articles, and which would otherwise be very expensive if they try to use only one of it, and they will have to spend a lot of time, lot of things and everything, energy expenditure is going to be very high. But if you produce now in companies, in factories, the same thing, they produce millions. එතකොට එකම ක්‍රියාවලිය යන්නේ එතකොට වියදම අඩුයි. So then that is the method and that this Henry Ford had introduced. එයා තමයි මේ ක්‍රමය හඳුන්වා දීලා තියෙන්නේ. So in that something is said. බලමු ඒකේ තියෙන ප්‍රධාන අදහස මොකක්ද? Now this is I give you as an answer, right? Now you see how it has been written as a summary. Henry Ford was the first to produce cheap, strong and fast cars. ප්‍රධාන අදහස ඒකනේ. මෙයා තමයිලු cheap, strong and fast cars හදපු පළවෙනි පුද්ගලයා. First he worked as a mechanic. Can understand, and at 29 he built his first car. එයා පළවෙනි mechanic කෙනෙක් විදියට වැඩ කරා. ඊට පස්සේ first car එක built හැදුවා. එයාගේ අවුරුදු 29 වෙනකොට, and started mass producing cars. And since then, mass production methods have been used in industries to produce cheaper goods and produce cheaper goods. ලාභදායි විදියට දේවල් නිෂ්පාදනය කරන්න මෙතනින් හැම ඉන්ඩස්ට්‍රි එකෙම මේ ඊට පස්සේ පටන් ගත්තා. Now you see, so this is the summary, this is the main idea you get in this text. So then while reading, then එහෙනම් මේක කියවනකොට මේ main ideas ටික එන දේවල් underline කරගත්තා නම් using those points you can write the summary. Now Anyway, you can't avoid, of course, this name should be there, nama ennoni, and the first person build cars. So that's giving the, and also its quality is cheap, strong and fast. Giving the idea. මේ තියෙන ඊට පස්සේ ඒවා විස්තර කරපුවා. He was able to sell millions of model cars. ඒවා විස්තර. So we can just exclude. And then after that, he worked as a mechanic at the age of 29. He built his first car. And however, first mass production, then he introduced this mass production method. Mass production in the Megan Kivendoni, and also, and then that became unchanged. Then Ford mass production method have become common. This in industry. Then others also followed those things. මෙන්න මේ ටිකෙන් තමයි අතර ප්‍රධාන අදහස කියවෙන්නේ. So while reading, you can just underline those parts. ඊට පස්සේ මේ කොටස් බලලා you write your paragraph in your own words. තමන්ගේ වචනෙන් ඡේදය ලියන්න. Give the same idea, but you can't add anything or you can't delete anything which is said in the first text. මේකේ දීලා තියෙනවා ඔයාට වෙනස් කරන්න බෑ. ඔයාගේ අදහස් කියන්නත් බෑ. You should write only what is said here. මේක කියපු දේ විතරමයි කියන්න පුළුවන්. It is not an essay. If it is an essay, you can write your idea, your opinions. But here it is not. You have to tell the summary because this knowledge is very important, right? You know, even when you start doing a job in companies, you have to do this. Summarize. Maybe your boss asks you to, okay, attend that meeting and give me the summary of the meeting. Meeting එකේ summary එක දෙන්න කියන්නේ. එතකොට meeting එකේ වෙච්ච සියලුම දේවල් ලියන්නේ නැහැ. The main things, important things. So then practicing this is very important for your future also. Right. So that is part C, and this is the example for that. And then I have given you now 2 examples for this summary. Actually, in your new syllabus, you don't get the summary, but this is good for your life. Now, let's look at the next part of this paper. Part D. First paper, part D. පළවෙනි ප්‍රශ්න පත්‍රයේ D කොටස. That is writing. A friend of yours has been away for a month and there was an important event function held in the school while he or she was away. A friend of yours, your friend, one of your friend, has been away for a month. Yeah, has been away for a month. මාසයක් විතර තොර ඉස්කෝලේ ඇවිල්ලා නැතුව මොකක් හරි හේතුවක් නිසා, and was but during that time ඒ කාලය තුල there was an important event. වැදගත් event එකක් එක්ක function එකක් held in the school. පාසලේ පැවැත්වෙලා තියෙනවා. While he or she was away. එයායි නැති කාලය තුල. Write a letter to him or her including the event. නම් එයාට මේ විස්තර ලියලා ලියුමක් ලියන්න. Or function and your role in it. ඔයා මොකක්ද ඒකේ කරේ? In that function, what was your role? Use about 125 to 150 words. Then that's the word limit. Do not exceed this word limit. මේ word limit එක පන්නන්න බෑ. Don't write more than 150 words. And also less than 120 words. It should be in between these 125 to 150. Then 15 marks for that. So for this letter, you get marks like this. For content, you get 5 marks. That is offered in this way. Has used specific length. Specific length කියන්නේ මෙන්න මේක. වචන 125 150 අතර තියෙන්න ඕනේ. ඔයාගේ ලිපිය. and also has used appropriate beginning and end. Now you know you are writing. Now write a letter. ලියුමක් ලියන්නේ. කාටද? Write a letter to your friend. එහෙනම් මේ මොන ලියුමක්ද? You know, formal letters and informal letters, personal and official. So out of this, which kind of මේ මොන වගේ ලියුමක්ද? Is it a personal one? Is it an official one? You should identify it. ඒක හරියට අඳුරා ගන්න ඕනේ. So actually this is as you are writing it to a friend, යාළුවටනේ ලියන්නේ. So it is not official. It is a personal or private letter, right? Or informal letter. So then that should have a good starting, appropriate beginning and end. On the start එකක් end එකක් තියෙන්න ඕනේ. Has included sufficient details, ප්‍රමාණවත් විස්තර තියෙනවා, details of the event together with other relevant information. ඒ අදාළ අනිකුත් විස්තර සමග ප්‍රමාණවත් විස්තර තියෙන්න ඕනේ. Content of the letter is very interesting and relevant. ඒ වගේ තියෙනවා නම් you get 5 marks for that. රසවත් අදාළව ලියවිලා ලියන්න තියෙනවා. And also language use, grammar, vocabulary, spelling and punctuation. That is, has used both simple and complex sentences free of grammatical errors. So the language that you use, the sentences that you write, if there are no mistakes in grammar, spelling, and also a sophisticated range of vocabulary. වචන පාවිච්චිය හොඳ වචන පාවිච්චි කරලා තියෙනවා which are suitable for this, and also choice of words very effective for an informal letter. Punctuation and spelling perfect. So if you have these qualities, මෙන්න මේ qualities තියෙනවා, you get 10 marks for the language use. That's how you get 15 marks altogether. Right. Now you know the criteria of giving marks. ලකුණු දෙන විදිය දන්නවා. එහෙනම් මෙන්න මේ විදියට අපි ලකුණු ගන්න නම් මේකට අපි උත්තර ලියන්නේ කොහොමද? Now there you are writing an informal letter. Informal letter එකක් ලියන්නේ. Now once again we'll go back to the question. A friend of yours has been away for a month and there was an important event or function held in the school. Then now you have to think of what is this event or function. දැන් එහෙනම් හිතෙන් හිතා ගන්න ඕනි පාසලේ පවත්වපු උත්සවයක්. මොකක් හරි function එකක් in the school while he or she is away. Write a letter to him or her describing the event. එහෙනම් මේක ඔයා describe කරන්න ඕනි. Describe the event or the function. And your role in it. And also you have to tell what did you do there. Right. So now let's see how to write this letter. You know this is going to be an informal letter, personal letter, private letter. You know the format of an informal letter. Informal letter එක format එක, you know. So if this is the letter, I'll just give you an example. අපි මේ ලියන කොලේ මේකේ, you know, this side there's margin. So where do you write or how do you write? Here you write the sender's address. Here comma full stop. යවන්නාගේ ලිපිනේ. No need of writing your name. නම ලියන්නේ ලිපිනේ. ඔයාගේ ලිපිනේ මෙතන ලියනවා. Then here in this corner you start. So not like in Sinhala letters. In Sinhala letters you may write අර ලියනවානේ දෙවි පිහිටයි තෙරුවන් සරණයි ඒ වගේ ඒවා. It is not coming in these letters. You simply address the person and comma. Dear friend කියලා නම ලියන්න පුළුවන්. Right? Dear friend ලිදුල. right? Then you start writing the letter. First, this is an informal letter. So then you should have different paragraphs, not everything in one paragraph. And there should be several paragraphs. Paragraphs එකක් නෙමෙයි කීපයක් තියෙන්න ඕනේ. Not only one, maybe 2, 3, 4 paragraphs, okay. But remember the number of words. ඒ වචන සීමාවෙ ඉන්නත් ඕනේ. So that in the first paragraph, how would you write? What would you write? So then මෙතන the first paragraph එකට ඔයාලා ලියන්න පුළුවන් simply asking the details නේ. එයාගේ විස්තර නිකන් අහලා hello friend සාමාන්‍ය විදියට you can start hello friend, how are you? I am keeping well. Hope you and your family are also keeping well. ඒ වගේ සාමාන්‍ය විස්තරයක් ලියන්න පුළුවන්. Right? Now simply normally you start telling so as it is friend, hello and how are you? I'm fine. The සාමාන්‍ය පටන් ගන්න ක්‍රමය එහෙම කරනවා. That's also all right. So you may start saying hello and telling the name. ඒ වගේ start කරන්න. Then you tell about your details also. I am fine. We are keeping well. We miss you a lot for the last month. අපිට පහුගිය මාසේ මිස් වුණා. වා ගියානේ මෙන්න මේකට. Then if you know the purpose or the reason why he is away from the school, ඇයි ආ ඉස්කෝලේ මාසයක් විතර ආවේ නැත්තේ කියන එක ඔයා දන්නවනම් you can write that also. And then you can ask about it also. Hello, then just think that he went for a tour in abroad or for a training to another place, another area, another country. Then there you can just imagine him hitagan, hello friend, I think you are having a nice time undergoing the training in New Zealand. මං හිතනවා මේ වෙලාවේ හොඳ පුහුණුවක් ලබනවා. I hope that you are keeping well. We are also keeping well. We are always talking about you. ඒ වගේ just tell. And after that you tell why you started writing this letter. Today I am writing this letter to tell you something very important. Then ඒකත් මෙතනම කියන්න. Today I'm writing to tell you something very important. You know, we had an English camp in our school. Sports festival in our school. Or or New Year Day festival in our school. After writing the details, you tell the reason why you are writing this letter today. You take that one to this one. Then event describe event or the function. Then you describe maybe within 1 or 2 paragraphs. Now you describe the event. Function. Make a describe what is it and what are the things you did there. Now if, for example, now think that you had an English day kattibura iskole. So we had an English day in our school and our English teachers practiced several items with several students in our school, and it started at 9 a.m. in the morning. The chief guest was Kela Ramakdano, and there were nice or beautiful dramas, songs, speeches, dialogues. ඒ වගේ තිබිච්ච items එහෙම කියන්න පුළුවන්. and එකේ කවුද ආරාධිතා මුත්තා, කවුද සහභාගී වුණේ? You know the most important thing, I was the announcer in that English day. මම තමයි ඒ English day එකේ conduct කරේ announcer කියලා අන්න. එතකොට you are writing what you did in it. ඔයා මොකක්ද ඒකේ කරපු ඔයාගේ role එකත් කිව්වා. because it was there in the question. question එකේ එකත් සඳහන් කරන්න තිබුණා. so you explain this event not only in one paragraph, at least use about 2 paragraphs, right? So for example, now if you are talking about the things that happened, ඒක සිදුවන දේවල් සහ ඔයාගේ අදහස්, අනිත් අයගේ අදහස්, so what principal said in his speech and what the others said, or who are the participants that you invited the other schools, අනිත් පාසල් වලටත් invite කරා ඒගොල්ලොත් ආවා, අන්න ඒ වගේව දාන්න. then you can easily write enough words. දැන් වචන 150 200 නෙමෙයි 500ක් වුණත් ලියන්න පුළුවන්, but you have to limit it. go to the word limit. ඒ word limit එකේ ඉන්න ඕනේ, right? don't write exceeding that word limit. ඊට එහා ලියන්න යන්න එපා. and then the last paragraph you can just again give or express your hope that you would come to school very soon, right? why ඉක්මනට අපි පාසලට එයි කියලා මම බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා. you just and think that maybe he was sick, අසනීප වෙලා හිටියනම් you can give him your wishes. I wish you quick recovery and come back to the school as soon as possible. එහෙම අවස්ථාවක් නම් එහෙම. එහෙම නැත්නම් පිටරටක went for a training or something, no? I wish you all the best to do your best at your fall work, training, මොනවා හරි. So like that sort of a thing, it can be a wish or what you expect. We expect you to be with us very soon. Then finish your letter and then here your friend කියලා ඔයාගේ නම ඔවස්සන, right? your friend, comma, and your signature. So this is the letter that you are going to write. So then I didn't write the letter, I just told you how to write this letter and what to write. What are the things that you can include in this letter? නම් මේ ලියුම කොහොමද ලියන්නේ, මොනවද ඒකට ඇතුළත් විය යුතු කරුණු, මොනවද අපිට ඒකට ඇතුළත් කරන්න පුළුවන් කරුණු, මම ගොඩාක් විස්තර කිව්වා. So with that I know that you can write more things. Just put your ideas into sentences. දැන් මේ වගේ කරුණු මම දැන් කියපු ටික වාක්‍ය වලට දාන්න. Then you will be writing very nice essay and good paragraph is in also here. paragraph 2-3ක් තියෙනවා. good letter. So then it's an informal letter. I hope that you can do it. So then please answer this. Write this letter and show it to your teacher and then get marks. So and practice writing these kind of letters, because now you, even if you are sitting for A-level new syllabus, you have these letters, formal and informal letters. So then practice. Then let's go to the next question. Next question is, you see the following advertisement in a local newspaper. Local newspaper එකේ මේ advertisement එක දැක්කා. Holiday camps for children. Holiday camps for children. Ministry of Child Development and Women's Affairs, volunteers wanted for December 2014. එනම් මෙන්න මේ අමාත්‍යාංශයේ Ministry of Child Development, ළමා සංවර්ධන සහ කාන්තා සුබ සාධනය වගේ අමාත්‍යාංශයෙන් holiday camps, නිවාඩු කාලේ තියෙනවනේ camps කඳවුරු, අන්න ඒකට volunteers. Volunteers means those who work without any payment. ගෙවීමක් නැතුව ස්වේච්ඡාවෙන් වැඩ කරන අයට කියන volunteers. Volunteers ලා එතකොට මේගොල්ලෝ ඉල්ලන wanted for December 2014. Right? So the Ministry of Child Development and Women Affairs is looking for people to work as helpers. They are looking for people to work as helpers. Helpers ලා විදියට වැඩ කරන්න අයගොල්ලෝ හොයනවලු in holiday camps to be conducted in Jaffna and Galle. So they are going to have camps in Jaffna and Galle. මේ නගර දෙකේ කඳවුරු පාත්වනවා. ඒකෙදි helpers ලා වශයෙන් සහභාගී වෙන්න ස්වේච්ඡාවෙන් ඉදිරිපත් වෙන්න කැමති අය මේගොල්ලෝ දැන් හොයන්නේ. You will be responsible for organizing games and activities for groups of children. So your responsibility ඔබට ලැබෙන වගකීම තමයි organizing games. Games සංවිධානය කිරීම සහ activities for group of children. There is no salary, no payments, පඩි නෑ. But travel and living expenses will be paid. Travel, then Jaffna යන්න, Galle යන්න, traveling and living expenses පොඩි ඒ ගාන ගෙවනවා. ඒ මුදල ගෙවනවා. Right, ඒ කියන්නේ ජීවන වියදම් සහ traveling වලට. Write to us for more information and an application form. එහෙනම් if you like, write to us. මෙන්න මේගොල්ලන්ට ලියන්න with more information. තවතොරතුරු සමග සහ and an application form. අයිදුම් පත්‍රයක් සමග. Address is given: Director, Department of Probation and Child Care Services, Ministry of Child Development and Women's Affairs, 3rd floor, Setsiripaya Battaramulla. That's the address given. So then, now, write a letter to the Director of the Department of Probation and Child Care Services of this ministry. There, again, you are writing a letter. Then, මෙතනත් ලියන්නේ ලියුමක්. We wrote a letter for the previous one also. දැන් මෙතන ලියන්න වෙන්නේ ඒ වගේ එකක්ද? Let's see. In your letter, you should find out the relevant details. මෙන්න මේ details තියෙන්න ඕනේ. මොනවාද? The dates, the hours of work, the type of accommodation, and ask for an application form. And also you ask for an application form. Do not use more than 125 words. වචන 125ට වඩා පාවිච්චි කරන්නත් එපා. So then now for this situation, you have to write a letter. So what kind of a letter do you write for this? And for that letter also, now if you know, first you should know how the criteria of giving marks. දැන් ලකුණු ලබා දෙන්නේ අපිට කොහොමද? අපි ඒකත් දැනගත්තොත් අපි ඒ අනුව අපේ රචනාව ලියා ගන්න පුළුවන්. Now this is how. Description here and marks. For format, this is a formal letter. Formal letter එකට අපිට ලකුණු ලැබෙනවා එකක් මෙන්න මෙහෙම. Has used format of a formal letter. Formal letter එක ආකෘතිය ඒ විදිහට පාවිච්චි කරනවා. I'll discuss it in detail again. Today, there should be sender's address, receiver's address, topic, the salutation, topic, and the body of the letter and ending. And also including sender's address, receiver's address, date, appropriate salutation, and clause. Do not give any mark if one of the above is missing. Then මේවෙන් එකක් හරි ඔයාට ලියන්න අමතක වුණොත් අපි හිතමු you write the address and other things and you forgot to write the date. Date එක දාන්න අමතක වුණා. එහෙම නැත්නම් salutation එක. ඒවෙන් එකක් හරි අඩුයි නම් you don't get this mark. So එක ලකුණක් හරි අහක දාගන්න එපා. So even one mark is important to go for your grade. So then that is one mark for that. Then content has included all the points given in the question. Question එකේ දීලා තියෙන සියලු කරුණු ඇතුළත් නම් ඒ කියන්නේ request in details, the date ඒ වගේ ඒවා. Our date, hours of work, type of accommodation, etc. And application form, right? Content of the letter very relevant to the given topic. And ඒ තත්ත්වයේ තියෙනවා නම් you get 4 marks. Next, for organization, has used appropriate beginning and ending. Good start and ending should be there. හොඳ ආරම්භයක් සහ අවසානයක්. And has arranged facts in a logical sequence. කරුණු logical sequence. හරි. පිළිවෙලකට තාර්කිකව ඉදිරිපත් වෙලා තියෙන්න ඕනේ. Has used appropriate linking devices. Linking devices use කරලා තියෙන්න ඕනේ. අදහස් සම්බන්ධ කරන වචන. මේ වගේ if, when required. Has paid attention to paragraphing. And also should not have written everything in one paragraph. ඔක්කොම එක ඡේද නෙමෙයි. ඡේද වෙන් කිරීමකුත් කරලා තියෙන්න ඕනේ. එහෙමනම් you get 2 marks for organization. And next, language use. Has used both simple and complex sentences free of grammatical errors. You should have written simple sentences as well as long or complex sentences, but with no any grammar mistake. Grammar mistake නැතුව. Excellent use of appropriate formal expressions, because this is a formal letter. මේ formal letter එකක් නේ. එහෙනම් ඒකට ගැළපෙන වචන තියෙන්න ඕනේ. A sophisticated range of formal vocabulary and the choice of words very effective for a letter of inquiry. This is an inquiry letter. විමසීමක් කරන්නේ මෙතන නේද? Then එතන අහන්න ඕනි කියනවානේ. Now you have to ask for an application form. Application form එකක් එහෙමත් ඉල්ලන්නේ නේ. This inquiry එකක් තියෙන්න ඕනේ. And also punctuation and spelling perfect. Your spelling, punctuation, that full stop, comma ඒ වගේවා perfect වෙන්න ඕනේ. එහෙම තියෙනවා you get 8 marks. මේවයි මොනවා හරි අඩු වෙනවා නම් grammar අඩු වෙනවා මේක 8 becomes 7, 6, 5 ඒ වගේ අඩු වෙන්නේ. මෙතනින් තමයි language එකට. So then now you see 8, 2, 10, then 14, 15 marks අපිට එකපාරම එහෙම දෙන්නේ නැහැ. එහෙනම් මේ වගේ කොටස් වලට කඩලායි දෙන්නේ. So then don't worry. Now if you feel I am not good in grammar කියලා එහෙම හිතුවට එහෙම හිතන්න එපා. පොඩි grammar mistake තුනොත් මෙන්න මෙතන තමයි ඒව අඩු වෙන්නේ. මේ ලකුණු ටික ගන්න පුළුවන් ඔයාට. මේ විදිහට if you know the format of an official letter එක ආකෘතිය හරියට දන්නවනම් මේ ලකුණු ගන්න පුළුවන්. So then let's see how to write this letter. This is the question. Now let's see how to write it. So this is a formal letter. As earlier අපි කලින් කරා වගේ අපි බලමු format of a formal letter. Formal letter එක අපි එහෙනම් මේ now this is the paper you write. So you know there is margin here. So now there are 2 ways of writing formal letters. Formal letters ලියන ක්‍රම දෙකක් තියෙනවා. So maybe you may start in this corner writing your address. So that means sender's address. Sender's address මෙතන ලියලා start කරන්නත් පුළුවන්. And the latest way is writing in this corner. මේ පැත්තේ ලියන්නත් පුළුවන්. Right, you write your address, sender's address here, and remember comma, then full stop. Then may sender's address. So it can be, if this is the paper, මෙතන ලියන්න පුළුවන්. That is also correct. Comma, full stop. That is also correct. Then leave a line. රුලක් ඇරලා මෙතන ලියන්න ඔයාගේ address එක, but don't write your name. ඔයාගේ නම ලියන්නේ නැහැ. Write only the address. And then leave a line, then write the receiver's address. Receivers means ලබන්නාගේ ලිපිනය. Right? Comma, full stop. There you can get the address here. මෙතන තියෙනවා මේ address එක. Department of Probation Child Care. අන්නේ address එක මෙතන තියෙන්නේ. ලබන්නාගේ ලිපිනය. Then leave a line, රුලක් ඇරලා salutation. Salutation can be only It can be sir, එහෙම නැත්නම් madam. Or else it can be dear sir, dear madam. Nothing beyond that. My dearest ඒවා ඉන්නේ නැහැ. Right? That comes here. Then the topic. So how do you write the topic? මාතෘකාව ලියන්නේ කොහොමද? So just ask the question from yourself, why do I write this letter? ඇයි මම මේ ලියුම ලියන්නේ? To asking for application to, දැන් මේ volunteer service එකට apply කරන්න application form එකක් ඉල්ලලා වෙන්න පුළුවන්. Or else expressing your willingness to join the volunteer, join as a volunteer for this vacation camp. Or else simply vacation camp. මේකේ දීලා තියෙන topic එක මෙතන දාන්න පුළුවන්. So in the advertisement එකේ තියෙන මාතෘකාව දැම්මහම then the reader can understand why this letter, why he or she has sent this letter. මොකද්ද මේ letter එකේ තියෙන අන්තර්ගතය කියන එක at once they can get an idea. Then you can write few paragraphs. The first paragraph you tell, from where did you find this advertisement? මේ advertisement එක දැක්කේ කොහෙන්ද? ඒක ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් ඔයා මොකද්ද කරන්න යන්නේ? Then with reference to the advertisement you can write, right? It can be according to that, නැත්නම් according to, නැත්නම් with reference to the advertisement you published කියලා පත්‍රේ නම දානවා. You published in Sunday Observer on කියලා දිනේ දාන්න. Then publish කරපු මේක දැකපු පත්‍රේ සහ ඒ පත්‍රේ දිනේ. ඔයාගේ ඊට පස්සේ ඔයාගේ කැමැත්ත. I would like to apply as a volunteer. I would like to apply to work as a volunteer in your vacation camps. Right? Then, now anyway, remember you had to write only 125 words. Then මේකට දක්වන කැමැත්ත ගැන ප්‍රකාශ කරා. Then in the next paragraph, in a new paragraph, then මේ ගැන විස්තර කියන්න. Now there in this paragraph you have to ask about the dates, hours of work, types of accommodation, ඒ වගේ දේවල්. Now so මෙන්න මේ ඇඩ්වර්ටයිස්මන්ට් එක මේ අහවල් පත්‍රය දැක්කා. ඒකට අනුව මම මේකට අයදුම් කිරීමට කැමැත්තෙමි. So that is in the first paragraph. So then also I would like to know more details about this camp. And more details like the dates. You can ask about the date. මොන දවස්වලද කෙරෙන්නේ. Right? You have to include here date. You have to ask then about the hours of work. And then also type of accommodation. And also accommodation. Can I hand over? And also you have to inquire about the application, ask for an application form. Ask about the application form. And if you want to ask any other thing, you can ask. මොන වගේ දේවල්ද කරන්න ඕන, කී දෙනෙක් විතර ළමයි එනවද, ඒ වගේ the number of children that would take place and what kind of a place is it, the accommodation ee vistara you can include in this paragraph what you expect. Then in the next paragraph, then now you have asked for these details and application form. So then you can tell the last paragraph. So I would be much thankful to you if you could send me. I would be much thankful to you if you could send me the above details. ඉහත විස්තර. Send me the above details. Details and an application form. I would be much thankful to you. ඔබට ස්තුතිවන්ත වෙනවා to you if you could send me the above details. ඉහත විස්තර මට එවන්නේ නම් and an application form. අයදුම් පත්‍රයක් සමග to the above address. ඉහත ලිපිනයට. ඉහත ලිපින means that means you have mentioned your address here. To the above address as soon as possible. So you can just complete that sentence. Then finally say thank you. Kela, as you started the letter here, you have to finish the letter here. Yours faithfully, and then your signature and the name. If you want, you can write below you the signature. If you started the letter in this corner, මේ පැත්තෙන් එම ලියුම් පටන් ගත්තා නම් දැන් ඔයා අවසන් කරන්නත් ඕනේ මේ පැත්තෙන්මයි. As you started the letter in this corner, මේ පැත්තෙන් පටන් ගත්තා නම් you finish the letter in this corner. If you start in this corner, finish the letter in this corner. So now I think it is very clear. So then include in this way, write not only one paragraph, it should be at least 3 paragraphs. අඩු ගානේ ඡේද 3කටවත්. එහෙනම් මේ ඡේද 3ට එන්න ඕනි කරුණු ටික මම කිව්වා. I gave you some examples, I gave you some points, then including all these things, try to write this formal letter. So now here we practice writing an informal letter and formal letter both. එහෙනම් අපිට මේ paper එකේ ඒ දෙකම ආවා. Informal letter එකත් ආවා and formal letters. And I hope that you got the idea what is to write and how to write this answer. So then with that we have completed all the questions in the first paper. So please answer this one, write this letter and show it to your teacher. Hope to meet you in my next video with the second paper of 2014. 2014 දෙවනි paper එකත් එක්ක අපි එහෙනම් ඊළඟ වීඩියෝ එකේදී හමු වෙමු. Until then, practice all these things. Have a nice time. Bye bye.